In the church calendar, certain days are set aside for honoring saints and celebrating their lives, and in the Catholic and Orthodox traditions, these are feast days. That's because we want to celebrate them, not because they are superhuman, but because they are just ordinary people with extraordinary faith. The first of our Advent saints is Saint Andrew, which is appropriate because he was the first person to follow Jesus, Matthew 4:18 through 20, and the first to bring others to him, John 1:40 through 42. For this reason, the Church has placed his day at the beginning of the Christian calendar. Advent Sunday is the Sunday nearest to St. Andrew's Day. I am all in favor of a feast day in the middle of Advent, a party in the middle of our longing, and ours not enough. And as a historian, I look to the lives of saints, not just like figures in a stained glass window, but as peoples whose lives still speak. So, what does St. Andrew's life say to us? He's a strange one. He's like the friend in high school you vaguely remember, but only as the guy that the teacher always called by his brother's name. He would have been George, the quiet beetle, Andrew. Is only mentioned 12 times in the Bible and was often referred to as Simon Peter's brother. And because there's so little known about him, there is a lot of legend. It is said that Andrew preached the Christian message widely after the resurrection. He is said to have visited what is now Turkey, Ukraine, Russia, Georgia, and Greece, where he was martyred in 16 CE during the reign of Emperor Nero. Tradition says that Andrew did not deem himself worthy to die the same way as Christ, so he was crucified on an X-shaped cross instead, a symbol seen on the flag of Scotland, of which Andrew is the patron saint. What we do know for certain is that Andrew was one of the original apostles. In fact, he was the first to be called. Andrew was a young fisherman from the village of Bethsaida, from whom Jesus called from his boat and net to become a fisher of men. The first thing Andrew did was to find his brother, Simon Peter, and tell him, "We have found the Messiah," that is, the Christ, and brought him to Jesus, John 1:41. Andrew is the friend, the brother, who drags others to Jesus. And as you may know, his brother Peter became the rock on which Christ's church is built, Matthew 16:18. Andrew is the disciple who drew the attention of Jesus to the boy with the basket of loaves and fish, John 6:8 through 9, which provided the miraculous feeding of the 5,000. He is the one who points to things needing attention. He was present with Christ at the Last Supper and the Mount of Olives. Andrew had a front row seat for the life of the Christ. Are you feeling it? The way Andrew stayed in the background, but he was in the foreground of what was important? He was the link between Jesus and the suffering that could be alleviated, the hungry that could be fed, the lost that could be found. Andrew, the obscure, was the first to be called, but made himself the last to be noticed. Are you living a hidden life? There's a good chance you could be one of those on the inside track, doing work that is so precious to God that it is never subjugated to the garish light of public view. If you're an Andrew, you are living out of the deep center of the plan to make all things new.